I've spent 70 years watching people focus on the furniture while the house is on fire. Most people think they need more stuff to be happy. I've found that you only really notice the things that matter when they start to disappear. I call it the oxygen theory. You're probably sitting there right now, worried about a move in the market or a promotion you didn't get. You feel a tightness in your chest because you're chasing things that are visible, but you're ignoring the invisible gases that actually keep you alive. When those run out, nothing else you've built will matter. There was a moment back in 1998 and another in 2008 where I saw the smartest people in the world, people with IQs off the charts, suddenly turn blue in the face. They had the mansions, they had the private jets, but they forgot the one thing you can't live without for more than a few seconds. I'm going to tell you why I keep billions in oxygen while everyone else tells me I'm being wasteful. Think about breathing. You're doing it right now. You don't thank the air. You don't even think about it. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's boring. But if I were to put my hand over your mouth for just 60 seconds, your entire world would shrink down to one single desire. You wouldn't care about your stock portfolio. You wouldn't care about your reputation. You just want one breath. I saw this happen to a friend of mine. He was a high flyer. He leveraged everything he owned to buy more. He was optimizing. To him, cash was trash. He told me, "Warren, you're leaving money on the table by holding so much cash." He was right, until the wind stopped blowing. In 2008, the oxygen left the room. Suddenly, he couldn't pay his bills. He had to sell his life's work for pennies just to survive. He realized too late that liquidity is like oxygen. You don't notice it's there, but its absence is the only thing that matters. I've noticed a pattern over the decades. Humans are wired to ignore the essential and obsess over the incremental. We focus on an extra 2% return rather than a 100% chance of survival. It's not just about money, though. It's about reputation. You can take 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. For 20 years, your character is like oxygen. It's just there. People trust you, doors open, and you think it's because you're smart. It's not. It's because you're breathable. But the moment you cheat, or lie, or cut a corner, the oxygen vanishes. Suddenly, you're gasping, and no amount of money can buy that air back. Most people try to live their lives at 10,000 feet. They want the excitement, the thin air, the peak performance. They think that if they aren't redlining their engine, they're losing. I prefer the valley. I like having a massive surplus of air. I've always been willing to look a little foolish in the short term to ensure I'm never gasping in the long term. I don't want to be the smartest guy in the room when the lights go out. I want to be the guy who brought the flashlight and an extra oxygen tank. I've seen the geniuses fail because they didn't account for a week without wind. Here's the paradox I've lived through. The more oxygen you have, the less you have to worry about the weather. When you have a massive margin of safety in your bank account, in your health, and in your relationships, you can actually think clearly. Most people are making decisions while they are suffocating. They take a job they hate because they have no financial oxygen. They make a bad investment because they're desperate for a quick breath of profit. If you're gasping, you can't be patient. And if you can't be patient, you've already lost the game. I've had a lot of luck in my life, but my biggest win wasn't a specific stock. It was the decision to never ever put myself in a position where I was one breath away from disaster. I've watched many people go broke trying to prove how fast they could run. I just wanted to make sure I never had to stop walking. The world will try to convince you to trade your oxygen for a little more speed. They'll call you old-fashioned. They'll call you slow. Let them. When the crisis comes, and it always comes, those people will be the ones looking for someone to save them. I've spent my life making sure I never needed saving. I didn't want to be the fastest. I wanted to be the one who was still breathing when everyone else had stopped. It's a quiet way to live, but it's the only way to win. Take a look at your life today. Are you building a bigger house, or are you making sure you've got enough air to live in it? Because when the room goes quiet, you're going to want to breathe. If this way of thinking makes sense to you, if you care less about noise and more about staying alive in the long run, then you might want to stay here. I share these ideas from time to time, not to impress anyone, but to remind myself what actually matters. You're welcome to subscribe and think along with me.